Yo, what is up guys? I'm back again with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be taking a look at the new ChromeBook C403. It's an interesting laptop with 4 GB of RAM, 32 GB of storage. It's meant mainly for education purposes but can be used for reasons otherwise, and it runs mainly on ChromeOS. But before we get into that, just make sure you follow it, stay tuned for more videos like this. Yep, so let's get into it. So starting off, this is an ASUS laptop, as I mentioned before. It has a texturized coating, but unfortunately it's so prone to fingerprints, which is the one downside about the entire coating. And there's 2 USB Type-C ports, 2 USB Type-A, one headphone and microphone jack, and a micro SD card reader. Other than the fact that it is also prone to fingerprints, it actually does have military grade durability and a spill resistant keyboard. Nothing bothers me more about the hardware than how it looks in certain lightings when the fingerprints are just more clearly visible. And for me personally, one of the most underrated things about laptops when it comes to using them personally, I think, is the keyboards. It's basically like the wheels to your car. They're gonna guide you and your experience everywhere. And this keyboard, to be honest, actually did surprise me. I thought it was smoother than smooth. And this is coming from someone who loves typing. I really am a fiend of typing on keyboards. I love typing scripts, I love typing essays, I text on my computer, and it's just therapeutic for me. This keyboard is just easy to get along with, especially for hand placement. It's extremely comfortable. The keys are all well spaced out, and it just feels natural, and this is coming from someone who's coming from a totally different computer. The material also, once you open the laptop, is also prone to fingerprints, so again, that's still a bummer for me. Apart from that, the screen is a 14-inch anti-glare LED HD display, and it maxes out roughly about 220 nits. And you know, the anti-glare is really good in very poor lighting, but when it comes to the resolution, it's only 1366 by 768. So basically, when it comes to overall graphics, it's not the best. It's okay. The display is vibrant, but it could be better. Ever since the pandemic, obviously, with how much institutions have transitioned either to remote work or online classes and so on, it makes sense that computers nowadays need to come with better and improved cameras. And this camera is a 720p camera, which, I'm gonna be honest, it kind of shocked me a little bit in how good it actually was. Considering the specs of the computer, I wasn't expecting much. I thought maybe the camera was gonna be average or basic at best. But after using it since the first try, I was actually pretty surprised and adamant how good the camera actually performed in poor and decent and not okay lighting. But overall, the camera is great resolution and legitimately good quality. And of course, I did go off on the material coating for the laptop, but it still has military grade durability, and on top of that, the laptop keyboard as well is spill resistant. When it comes to performance, this is where things get a little dicey. It has an Intel Celeron 2-core processor, N3350, and 4 GB of DDR4 RAM. So basically, in English, what this means is this is basically an entry-level processor that's good enough to handle just your day-to-day tasks. And this kind of does make sense because this notebook is garnered more for students that are going to be probably doing assignments or taking notes or writing down anything they might have heard from the lecture. It's not something that was meant to, say, stream 5 videos at once, play Adobe Premiere and edit something on there while you have Twitch rolling in the background. The graphics card is an Intel HD graphics card, and even though it has HD in the name, but just as the processor, this is also an entry-level graphics card because this is not something that you're gonna be high-end gaming on. And unfortunately, the storage space capacity is 32 GB, and this is excluding any built-in software as well. So even though there is a slot for a micro SD card, just beware of how much storage there actually is if you want to be using the micro SD card to import any other external media. So finally, the battery life is about 12 hours and it's charged through USB-C. This will be giving you enough time to last throughout multiple different lectures and last you through a big majority of the day as well. And so last but not least, I can't end this without addressing the elephant in the room. Personally, I cannot stand ChromeOS. I think the UI is extremely funky, and maybe it's just my personal bias because I'm someone who grew up using Mac and Windows my entire life. And when I came to high school in Canada, we needed to use Chromebooks to do our assignments, especially group work, because we're all connected through our district school board cloud. So it was easier for us to just upload everything and work together on assignments. And I'm just gonna say that was not the time of my life. Like ChromeOS, like it's not unmanageable, but it's just, it takes a little getting used to because of how different it looks. It just looks a little off. And just for context, I was reading a comment the other day and someone said when we all used to get new Windows, you would use Internet Explorer to download Google Chrome, and now when you get Chrome OS, you try to jailbreak it so you can get Windows. So it just really goes to show you just how things have flipped, yes, in terms of UI. Because Chrome OS, though it does give you some simplicity, you get your Google Docs and everything Google related on sort of one page, it still has a step and long reach to go before it gets to a point where it's competing with the likes of Microsoft Windows and Apple Macs. Let me know what you think. I think the computer is good if you're just a student, if you can get over the UI, or maybe someone that's used to it. Perhaps you're someone that's just used to working on Google Docs each and every single time of the day, then this computer will be compatible for you. For others, I'd say it may getting a little used to just to get comfortable with the UI. As for me personally, maybe it's just my hard-headedness and my bias, not trying to change to a different UI. But coming from Mac and a little bit of PC in my life, Chrome OS isn't the best OS to get familiarity with. So let me know, do you think I'm being too harsh on Chrome OS? Or is it just maybe a knockoff Windows and it deserves all the slander that I get? Let me know what you think. Have a good day.